Welcome to Buckeyes Tomorrow Morning for Monday, January 13th. I'm your host, Tom Orr. The national championship game against Notre Dame is in 7 days. The game against Michigan in 320 days. Today we are sponsored by Grateful Griddle. If you are planning your next event, make it unforgettable with Grateful Griddle. Columbus's favorite food truck is serving up smash burgers, gourmet sandwiches, and most importantly, good vibes. Book your catering today at gratefulgriddleoh.com. All right, we're going to be previewing this national championship game and be doing it with the help of Notre Dame head coach Marcus Freeman, former Ohio State linebacker, former teammate of James Laurinaitis at Ohio State. We're going to hear a little bit about that in this show. But you're going to be hearing directly from Marcus Freeman on this show. He got a chance to talk to the media to preview the national championship game over Zoom. We're going to let you hear a little bit from him. We'll have a separate show, a little bonus show for you a little later on today with the Ryan Day press conference. So let's start with the defense for Notre Dame. That is Marcus Freeman's side of the ball, obviously. He got a chance to watch the Cotton Bowl, and he got a chance to see what Texas did against Jeremiah Smith to hold him to just 1 catch and 3 yards. So is that something that Notre Dame can incorporate into their game plan?
Yeah, as you watch film, not many teams are successful just sitting in man coverage versus these receivers. So we'll obviously have to mix some things up and come up with a great plan to try to limit what they do in the passing game. You're not going to be able to stop their receivers totally. They're a talented bunch. And so we'll come up with a plan and be able to adapt and adjust based off what's going on in the game.
The offensive line from Notre Dame is going to be a big story this week leading up to this game. Anthony Knapp, their left tackle, he went down with an injury. Rocco Spindler, their right guard, he also went down with an injury against Penn State. So what's the update on those guys? And then what about Charles Jagusah? Now, he's someone who was supposed to be the starting left tackle for Notre Dame this year and then tore his pec during training camp and was supposedly out for the season. All the headlines said out for the season. Well, the season's still going on, and he stepped in during the Orange Bowl. So what's the plan there? Is he potentially factoring into the solutions there?
Yeah, Knapp will miss this game. He had a high ankle sprain and won't be able to make it back. But we expect Rocco to be able to, we'll see how he progresses. We could practice. But I know he'll give everything he has into making sure he's prepared. As far as the starting lineup, we'll do what's best for our program, and we got to figure that out. We have a week of preparation to make sure we get the right guys to start this game, and we'll see what that is here in the next couple of days.
Jagusah is going to be a big story this week with, as you heard him say, Anthony Knapp out at left tackle. Could Jagusah maybe step in at left tackle like he did last year? He's barely practiced with the ones at any point in his career. He has, though, played in some crucial games. He started at left tackle in the Sun Bowl last year after Joe Alt opted out, and the Notre Dame offense had a really big day that day. So how big has Charles Jagusah been for the Notre Dame offense? And then a sort of tacked-on question there. The Irish are dealing with the flu around the Orange Bowl game. Has the flu kind of run its course at this point?
Yes, as far as Jagusah, again, unfortunate injury that occurred in fall camp, but he worked his way back. And you know what, in the past few weeks or maybe the last month, he's just been practicing and preparing. If he did get an opportunity, he didn't know if he would or not. And he went out there and did an unbelievable job, did a great job, just like we thought he would. So credit to him, Coach Rudolph, for being ready for when his number was called, and then he went out and executed at a high level. So it speaks volumes to him and his preparation. As far as the flu, I mean, I'm sure every school, Ohio State's probably dealing with it too. Like, it's a virus that has really, I think probably over half of our team has gotten it already. So I don't think it will have an impact on this week's game.
Because of the tragedy around New Orleans around New Year's Day, the Sugar Bowl was obviously delayed a day, which meant that Penn State actually had a 2-day head start on their preparations for the Orange Bowl. Now, the shoe's on the other foot in this one because Notre Dame was home and back in South Bend watching the Cotton Bowl on TV, knowing that they would play the winner. So how beneficial is that to have maybe a little bit of a head start on game prep?
You don't get any schematic things out of watching it on TV. You obviously can see playmakers, you can see big plays, and that was evident in that game. But you have to go back and you got to watch. You got to really evaluate the coach's copy of the film to look at schematically how you want to prepare for this game. But I saw some guys on both sides, but specifically Ohio State's side making really big plays on offense and defense, and they have playmakers all across the board. And so we know it's going to be a challenge, but we look forward to it.
Marcus Freeman, of course, was a linebacker at Ohio State back in the Jim Tressel days and was teammates with James Laurinaitis. They played side by side in that linebacker core on some really good Ohio State defenses. So what are some of Marcus Freeman's favorite memories with James Laurinaitis? Because remember, not only did they play together, they also worked together a little bit on the staff at Notre Dame.
I think, there's so many moments when you play together, but, he was in my wedding and I was in his wedding. Those are special moments, obviously, the days you get married. And I think we had some great moments when we worked together here at Notre Dame. It's a unique situation where, a guy you're working with is one of your best friends. And so we got a lot of great moments and probably some that I won't share on this press conference, but he's a great friend.
Every coach has their mantras, and one of Marcus Freeman's mantras from Notre Dame this year has been a team-first mentality. So how has that helped them get to where they are right now, and how do you continue that with the biggest game of the season on deck?
That mentality has got us to this point. It's every person in this program putting this football program in front of itself, and that's what we continue to do, and we demand of each other is that everybody outside of this football program will find ways to give individual glory or individual praise or whatever it is. But we know inside this building that every person has a vital role for us achieving the results that we have. And that's what it's going to be as we prepare for this game. Your roles will be determined as we get in, finish with prep here soon. And we need you to execute your role, whatever that role is, to the best you can to make sure that we can achieve the results that we want. And that's what we'll continue to preach.
One of the big storylines around Marcus Freeman is he is not only the first Black head coach to make the national championship game, he is also the first Asian head coach to make the national championship game. So does he feel like this is something that might give other minority coaches a chance, seeing someone like Marcus Freeman reach this stage with a program like Notre Dame that has had trouble getting over the hump in the past, and also the importance and meaning of playing in Atlanta on Martin Luther King Day?
I sure hope so. I hope that somebody gives the right person an opportunity. I was given an opportunity by our former athletic director, Jack Swarbrick, and Father John Jenkins. They made the decision to give me an opportunity. And what I continue to hope is that, people get opportunities based off their actions and not the color of their skin. And that doesn't point to just one group of people. But that's that we want to make sure we continue to give the right people opportunities to lead our young people. And I believe in that. And I hope me being a Black and Asian head coach in the college football national championship gives others that opportunity, and that's awesome. I've always said this. I don't want this to be about me. I want this to be about others and about others getting opportunity, about our team. As far as playing in the national championship game on MLK Day, to me, the attention should be on MLK Day and what he did for our country and the progress he made for equal rights and for progress for all people. The courage he had as an individual to stand for what he believes in, and that was with his words and his actions. And so this Martin Luther King is about celebrating. Martin Luther King Day is about celebrating that man and the impacts he's made on our country.
This will be the third year in a row that the Ohio State Buckeyes and Notre Dame Fighting Irish have faced off during the season. Buckeyes opened their 2022 season with a win at home against the Irish. And then in 2023, they went to South Bend in late September pulled out a classic win over the Irish there as well. So with this team having a lot of guys who've now lost to Ohio State once or twice, is that maybe a little bit of an extra motivation heading into this game?
If you need that to motivate you to get ready for this game, then you're not the right person. And that's the reality of it. We don't need motivation to be prepared for this game. We got a chance of playing a national championship game. This isn't about the past. This is about this opportunity we have right in front of us, and we'll continue to focus on this opportunity right in front of us. If there's learning opportunities from other games or previous games, absolutely we're going to use them. Right? If it's going to help us be more prepared for what could happen in this game, we're definitely going to use it, but it isn't for motivation at all.
Talked about all the offensive line injuries earlier in the show, but that's not the only injuries that Notre Dame is dealing with right now. Running back Jeremiah Love, you have seen him with a big brace on his right knee. Wide receiver Bo Collins, he's been fighting through injuries as well. What's the update on those guys?
No, Jay Love is good to go. Jay Love will be full go, and Bo's still healing from he has calf strain, and so he'll work back into practice here in the next couple of days. But I hope that as long as he progresses, he'll be good to go for the game. But we got to make sure that he progresses as we go through this week.
In both the Sugar Bowl against Georgia and the Orange Bowl against Penn State, the Notre Dame offense got off to a really sluggish start before kind of kicking it into gear around halftime or in the second half. So what has caused those slow starts and what has opened up later for them?
Yeah, I think you're talking about two really good defenses that we faced, two of the best in the country, as this one we're going to face this week will be too. It's a game of adjustments and a game of, taking care of the football and taking advantage of the opportunities that are presented. And that's what we did versus Georgia, right? We took care of the football and we took advantage of opportunities that were presented and found tough, gritty ways to get first downs. Penn State early in the game was giving us some unique looks and probably were running the ball into some difficult looks that we hadn't seen going into the game, but we had to make some adjustments. And that's what this game's going to be about is, okay, everybody's going to have a plan going in. How do you make adjustments? How do you find a way to get the tough yardage that you need to get a first down and keep the sticks moving and, take care of the football? We got to do it. We didn't do a great job of that versus Penn State, and that's probably one of the couple reasons that the game was really close. We got to take care of the football, and we got to find ways to run the ball.
Notre Dame quarterback Riley Leonard went out with what appeared to be a head injury during that Orange Bowl, but was then cleared to return. So what is that process like to sign off on guys returning or whether they go into concussion protocol? Is that different for the college football playoff than it would be for a normal game?
I don't know. There's nothing different with a CFP game. We have a medical professional team of athletic trainers and doctors that will do a thorough evaluation of our players when they think they have a concussion. The health and safety of our players are more important than anything. And I want to make sure that's clear. And so they would never put a player at risk if they did not think he was physically ready to play in a game. And they made the decision after a thorough evaluation that he was okay to return to the game. And so you have to trust your doctors. And there's times that they say a player's not available to come back into the game. And you got to trust your doctors. And so we have professionals that handle the evaluation, and they felt like Riley was good to return to play.
And finally, Notre Dame has not won a national championship since 1988. Of course, going into this season, they had not won a major bowl game in 30 years, and they've just now done that twice, winning the Sugar Bowl and the Orange Bowl back-to-back. So what would a national championship mean for Notre Dame and for the Fighting Irish players?
Oh, it would be something special. Obviously, this place hasn't won a national championship since 1988, and every year the aspirations are to win a national championship. That's why all these players choose to come to Notre Dame. One of the reasons is to be a part of a program that can win a national championship. And so I think it's something that they'll be able to say for the rest of their lives is that they were a part of a national championship football team. And so there's a lot of work that goes into getting to that outcome, and that's what we got to focus on. But it would be special for this university and for these players that have poured so much work into getting the results that we have.
Well, I feel like we're just sort of scratching the surface there with Marcus Freeman. Going to be so much interesting stuff to talk to him about. We will get a chance to talk to him down in Atlanta for the national championship game. We've got a whole bunch of media opportunities down there. A full media day coming up on Saturday, the usual head coach press conference coming up on Sunday, and then, of course, the game on Monday. We're going to get down there on Friday, get a chance to talk to the teams as they arrive on Friday, and then get that full media schedule in for you. And boy, do we have a lot of stuff coming up this week as well at BuckeyeHuddle.com. We got all sorts of coverage coming. Should have our X's and O's breakdown with Ross Fulton. We'll have lots of conversations about the Ohio State preparations, Notre Dame preparations, all sorts of good insider information there as well at BuckeyeHuddle.com. We are also right now in the process of sending out little care packages for our members. We got confetti from the Cotton Bowl. We got game programs from the Cotton Bowl. We're sending that all out to members at BuckeyeHuddle.com, and we're doing that on Monday. So if you want to get in on that and also get in on all of the great coverage that we have, this would be a great time to sign up at BuckeyeHuddle.com, like right now. As soon as the show's done, go to BuckeyeHuddle.com, sign up now, get access for your first month for just $4.99, get an opportunity to get in on some of that great swag from the Cotton Bowl and potentially a national championship game, some swag from that as well. And of course, also, by the way, also the great insider coverage you've come to know and expect from the team at BuckeyeHuddle.com. We sure hope to see you there. That will do it for now. Thank you guys all for joining us. We'll be back with another bonus show a little bit later on.